Maximizing is by its nature inefficient. Let me give you some examples. So, I was watching the Arnold Classic, which is about bodybuilders, weightlifters, the world's strongest man competition. And one man was explaining that they gorge on calories. Of course, it's healthy calories, a lot of protein. 10,000 calories a day, try to bulk up. And he said, look, the world's strongest men are always going to have bellies because the body is not completely efficient converting the stuff you eat to muscle. And that's the thing. You have to put up with these inefficiencies. Have you seen babies eating? So if you look at any babies, toddlers, infants eating food, more of it ends up on the table and the surrounds than in their mouth. And even all of the stuff that ends in their mouth oftentimes doesn't go down. You see it all over the place, right? And so can you imagine parents saying, oh, I want to be efficient. I don't want to waste food. So yeah, basically their baby is not going to eat very much. And that's just sort of the way it is that babies eat. The same with milk, right? I don't know how much my baby's going to drink. If I want her to drink as much as possible, I have to overfill every single time. Otherwise, how do I know she couldn't have drank more? Because oftentimes when she stops, she's not going to re-drink. And that's the thing with maximizing. It's not efficient. See, the words are funny, right? Maximizing sounds like efficiency, right? Like if you maximize your mileage, maximize the fuel in your tank, that's being more efficient. But do you know what's required to get better mileage? Number one, driving slower. Do you really want to get there very slowly? My brother had a phase where he was driving to maximize efficiency. My cousin was sitting in the car, he's like, this seriously 20 miles an hour on local? Usually people drive 40, 50, right? Yeah, so that's not really what most people would accept, right? I mean, I guess you increase your fuel efficiency, but at what cost? Well, the whole point is we have cars, so we get places. If not, we could be more fuel efficient just by walking, right? And so that's the thing about maximizing. Inherently, there are inefficiencies to be efficient in one thing. It doesn't work that you could be efficient in everything. It's like saying you're good in everything, or this person's the best in everything. This car is the best at everything. This house is the best, blah, blah, blah. There's no such thing, right? They're all things they're better at, or even the best at, and there's things they are not. And that's just the way our world works. That's the way our world is structured. And so if you want to maximize one particular area, you're gonna not be so efficient, right? So let's say you want to be the best baseball player. Spend all your time playing baseball. You probably don't know how to do a lot of other stuff well, right? So say you had to, fill up gas. You may not even know how to fill up gas. That's a pretty extreme example. But you may not know how to cook, right? You are inefficient at doing basically everything else because you're so specialized. But that's maximizing, right? If you look at super specialized people, they lose a lot of skills that those normal ones of us have, because those normal ones of us have to do all this other stuff. But the thing is, those normal ones of us, we're jack of all trades, master of none. We're not so great at many things. We're not maximizing one particular thing. We're just being sort of good at everything, or sort of bad at everything, if you want to put it that way too, right? Think about it. Maximizing. Spending all your time focused on one tiny little thing. I was watching this Japanese show, which I find hilarious because Japanese are really, really interesting. And it was a guy in a competition with a lady. So the guy is a melon grower. He grows melons. If you've seen these Japanese melons, they're $100, $200 each. You understand how somebody can make a living growing melons. His farm, quote unquote, is not very big. It's probably the size less than your house if you live in America. And he competed against a girl who makes fake food. And if you know Japan, they also make fake food, right? It's a big thing. I bought a sushi set for $100. I mean, it looks really realistic. You saw instead of fake food, that's cheap, like $5 for an ice cream cone. But anyways, her job is professionally making fake food. And in a competition, so she makes fake melons, and he has to chop up the real melons. So you can't touch it, obviously, that's too easy. He has to look at it from afar, and he has to throw a knife in to see whether it's real or not. And obviously, if he throws a knife in, it's real, right? I mean, because the knife can't go in if it's fake. Anyways, there's an aura of mystery suspense. Is he going to beat her? These are both experts at their craft. And obviously, he won. It was no competition. I mean, if you think about normal people, that girl's, this is her job. This guy, this is his life. He is a melon farmer. He tends melons. I don't know how many there are, maybe 100. He tends 100 melons. Isn't that crazy? He spends all his time with melons. He knows his melons individually. I mean, you want to talk about maximizing, being super good at something, right? And that's that. But I guess going back, what does maximizing mean? Are we talking about maximizing our time? Maximizing our ability to do something, right? So when you say maximizing our time, right, people do mean doing more. But they don't mean doing 100 tasks versus 10 tasks, right? So that's very nebulous. You gotta say maximizing your potential, right? You wanna work really hard at school so you could get into the best school you could get into. You maximize your potential. But then also, what does that mean? You work really hard studying a particular topic thinking that's gonna get you in when maybe that's not true. Because many times, knowing two topics well, say at an 8 out of 10, is better than knowing one topic at a 10 out of 10, at least for applicability to the real world and getting hired. Many people who are experts in their fields happen to actually know other fields as well, because it all works together. So again, what is a maximizer? What is maximizing? I would say it's when somebody gets a task. Not every task do they do this with, but one particular task. And spend a whole lot of time on it. A magnitude of order more time than other people. Researching, figuring out all the different angles. Doing more research. Thinking about it. Going out taking walks so they clear their breath. And have a fresh breath of air to think about again. You want to know what a maximizer is? It's a poet. They take all these words and they condense them. They spend hours, days, figuring out how to say one sentence. That's a maximizer. It's beautiful, but it's also inherently inefficient. And if you want to be a maximizer, that's just something you will have to accept.